Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. That's a good thing. All right? Protect your meat, my brothers. Your money, your energy, attention, and time. Right on. Right fucking on.
Nothing beats a G2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. Nothing beats a G2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. Nothing beats a G2 holiday. And
Guys, women will only bring you chaos. Western women will only bring you chaos. He got her to pump gas so he could lock himself in the car and go through that phone. Chaos goblins. Exactly. These women, these Western women are chaos goblins. This is funny, but if you are going to have to do this, you should have just broken up with the bitch. You should have just broken up with her. Women. Exactly. Right? Just break up with them. They're not worth the headache. They're not worth the drama. Right? Again, dealing with these women is a headache. So, MGTOW or Passport Bro. That is the fucking way. Exactly. Funny from afar, but not funny when you're dealing with it.
Successful men don't spend their precious free time calling women ugly, fat, stupid, or old on the internet. Successful men don't spend their precious free time calling women ugly, fat, stupid, or old on the internet. Successful men don't spend their precious free time calling women ugly, fat, stupid, or old on the internet.
And feminine women aren't online constantly talking about men's money. Feminine, friendly, fit women are not chronically online talking about men's money. How about you stay in your lane? How about you focus on being a woman? Right? Stop telling men what to do. Stop telling men what is a real man. How about focus on you being the best woman you can be? Whiskey. I used to have a perfect FICO score of 850. Damn. Then I paid off my mortgage and it dropped. That's crazy. You know, that's funny. I've heard this a lot too. When you pay off your debt, it actually hurts. It actually hurts your credit score. I think that's crazy. When you pay off your debt, it actually hurts your credit score. That is pretty insane. MGTOW is freedom, right? I'm starting to believe that a lot. Okay? A man that is not ruled by women and lust, that is a man that is dangerous. That is a man that's freed from the matrix.
Yeah, normally my prices are 30 for head, 40 for sex, 60 for both. And I get special days too, meaning if it's hot as hell out here, you'll get the special, which is $20 head, I catch no mess. Or you get 30 for sex only or 40 for both. And that meaning head and pussy for both. Yeah, normally my prices are 30 for head, 40 for sex, 60 for both. And I get special days too, meaning if it's hot as hell out here, you'll get the special, which is $20 head, I catch no mess. Or you get 30 for sex only or 40 for both. And that meaning head and pussy for both. Yeah.
You know what? Yo, David. Yikes. Yikes. The stock in coochie's down. Exactly. That shit, they gotta give it away. I want nothing. I mean, it's not bad prices, right? It's going down. It's not bad prices. But that's the thing. Government shutdown. Women's gotta, gotta price it right. And yo, David, this is what I said. Feminism created feminism created the manosphere, right? Feminism birthed Redpill, it birthed incels, it birthed MGTOW, it birthed Black Pill. feminism birthed all of that, right? Feminism birthed manosphere content. 100%. Exactly. The world is your playground as a man if you have exactly. The world is your playground as a man if you have discipline. If you are at your best, nothing is holding you back. Damn, a BJ is less than a Big Mac Happy Meal. Hey, that's what women are going to be suffering through.
A woman who slaughtered her wife by stabbing her 13 times with a sword has been sentenced to 37 years to life in prison. Wei Qian Huang was found guilty of murdering her wife, Chen Fei, and for attempting to murder her mother-in-law, who was caught on camera trying to flag down police with the bloody sword in hand. Prosecutors say Huang went after her wife during a domestic dispute about their impending divorce. And then when her mother-in-law walked in, Huang went after her as well. She ended up stabbing her wife 13 times with a katana that they already had in their home. The convicted murderer did not speak at her sentencing, but had previously told authorities that she has no memory of murdering her wife. A woman who slaughtered her wife by stabbing her 13 times with a sword has been sentenced to 30.
What do you think is going to happen when a lot more good men go MGTOW, go passport bro? This shit right here. Women will have to deal with other women. When more men go MGTOW or passport bro, women are going to have to deal with other women. And guess what? Lesbian relationships has the highest rate of divorce and abuse. Lesbian relationships have the highest rates of divorce and abuse. Women are going to suffer when men have discipline. Women are going to suffer when men are not dealing with this shit anymore. I guarantee you. Women are going to say, "Where are the good men at?" Right? Now I have to date and marry women. Right? Now I have to date and marry women. Where are all the good men at? This is the future. This is the future of women right here.
7 years to life in prison. Wei Qian Huang was found guilty of murdering her wife, Chen Fei, and for attempting to murder her mother-in-law, who was caught on camera trying to flag down police with the bloody sword in hand. Prosecutors say Huang went after her wife during a domestic dispute about their impending divorce. And then when her mother-in-law walked in, Huang went after her as well. She ended up stabbing her wife 13 times with a katana that they already had in their home. The convicted murderer did not speak at her sentencing, but had previously told authorities that she has no memory of murdering her wife.
You know, Mrs. Smith said, right? Women already hate each other, so the violence is going to skyrocket. Here's my thing, right? And this is a kind of a controversial opinion. I believe women are more violent than men. I believe women are more violent than men. 70% of one-way domestic abuse is by women against men. 70%. One way. Because you gotta think, right? Out of both genders, who is more emotionally, who is more in their emotions? Women are. All right? It just so happens that, when women are violent, you don't see it because it's against men. Right? When women are violent, it's usually against men, and you don't really see the result. But guess what? When men are walking away, when men go MGTOW, when men do passport bro, guess what women do? Women are going to have to deal with other women. And then you will see the results of it. You will see the results of women's violence when women deal with other women. We are seeing that. We will be seeing that.
Men are not the prize, they are the consequence. And
Ooh.
you have to find the man that is worth the consequences of being with him. For some men, you know what, there aren't a lot of consequences. You know, they had an incredible mother that, you know, put them in line.
Yeah.
And they end up being incredible partners, incredible lovers. But then there's other men who are the consequence, and they will drag you to the depths of hell.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of knowing, okay, I'm going to treat this man as a fact, not an opinion that I can eventually mold and change. But no, this is who he is. And if nothing were to change about who he is today, could I deal with it?
And not only could I deal with it, am I the type of woman who does?
Men are not the prize, they are the consequence. And
Ooh.
you have to find the man.
You know, I always hate that women constantly want to shape a certain narrative, right? This is why I always say that we need to just walk away from these women. We need to just walk away from these women because honestly, they're miserable people. They are miserable people because here's why. These women constantly, because this is the thing. Today in this year, right? In this century, in this day and age, no woman is dealing with a man she didn't choose to deal with. Not a single woman in the West, in my opinion, not a single woman in the West is dealing with a man she didn't willingly choose to deal with. And yet women choose to deal with these men that they choose, right? And then they become miserable. They become jaded. They become traumatized. And then they take that trauma and then inflict it on other men, right? They inflict that trauma on other men. These women are miserable. These women are miserable people. They are. I really do. I honestly really think so. This is why I said we either go MGTOW or we go passport bro. Because hopefully, right, feminism hasn't hit other parts of the world yet, right? Hopefully by the time you do passports, right, by the time you become a passport bro, hopefully feminism hasn't hit other parts of the world. Because once it has, you're fucked.
Okay, here's a question for the guys, because I've already asked the ladies questions. What belief about women did you inherit from either friends or family or the media or whatever that you later had to unlearn? What belief around women or of women did you have to unlearn and you realised that it wasn't the right belief to have? Okay, here's a question for the guys, because I've already asked the ladies questions. What belief about women did you inherit from either friends or family or the media or whatever that you later had to unlearn? What belief around women or of women did you have to unlearn and you realised that it wasn't the right belief to have? Okay, here's a question for the...
What do you guys, right? It's an interesting question. Oh, bro. Yo, you stole my answer. Yo, Mr. Smith, you know what? A lot of times I love how you think because like, it's like we have the same fucking brain, right? A lot of time, Mr. Smith, you say fucking gems. All right, Mr. Smith, you say fucking gems. You exactly what I wanted to say, right? Mr. Smith said the answer, women are loving and caring. 100%. That is something that I had to fucking unlearn. I had to unlearn that shit. So, Mr. Smith, you always jump the gun, right? Because man, it's like we share the same brain. Exactly. That is something that I hope all men will unlearn. I hope all men will unlearn. Do not believe the propaganda that women are loving and caring. Do not believe that. 100%. But what if you guys have any other, right? Any other answer to this question, please tell me.